Hello, everybody. Welcome in. It's good to see you all again. We are back today for another Kenshi stream. After being away for a weekend, we're back to it. Our regularly scheduled Saturday and Sunday Kenshi streams. Hello to everybody. Todd, congrats on grabbing the first redeem. And hello to you and Maiko and Herbemoji. Hope you're all doing very well. So, just a reminder, if you are new to the series or you're just joining us after our little bit of break, we have been in the middle of war with the Holy Nation. That's right, we have told the Stone Golem that we wanted to go to war. We have successfully taken over Stack and Bad Teeth and Okron's Shield. Now what stands before us is Blister Hill and the Phoenix. But it's going to be a tough fight. I've got some ideas on maybe training up our team to get them a little bit more of an edge before we go back into that again, because we did try it once. We didn't quite get the resounding victory we hoped for. So let's see if we can make ourselves stronger in all the ways that count. Thanks for joining me, everybody. Let's go ahead and get started with some Kenshi. Also, there was apparently a behind the scenes or meet the makers kind of video on Kenshi. I need to watch that. A couple people told me that it was pretty reliably spoiler free. So it should be something that I should be able to watch. All right, let's load up and get back into it. If a slaver strips all your gear, he will probably put it all in storage somewhere. Maybe you can get it back. Imagine if we finally liberate Blister Hill and we find our weapons that we thought were lost. So need to get back in and remember what we were up to last. Chris has been uncharacteristically public lately. Wonder if they're gearing up more for Kenshi too. Hey, we can hope. Herb Emoji, it's good to see you over on the YouTube. All right, now let's see. I think Double is going to get some food. Good, that's what we want. This Hungry Bandit is probably going to try to break their way out of this gate. Okay, so let's see what Brecht is up to. Nothing. Okay. So part of what I'm wondering... Let's see where our squad is. Oh, that's right. We left them off in Flotsam. We were kind of exploring a little bit. So when I look at the stats that our characters have, we are pretty strength heavy, most of them. And I know that strength has something to do with combat speed when using heavy weapons. But I wonder if we increase the dexterity some. I mean, it says right here that that affects attack speed and block speed. That might be one pathway to more effective, more efficient fighters. Kitty, welcome in. One more, almost there. Now let's take a look at stats. Attack speed, block speed, weapon cutting damage is another one because we tend to use weapons that are blunt but also bladed. And ways to train attacking with light weapons. So when I look at what would cause our dexterity to go up, I notice we have some characters that have fairly high dexterity. I notice in particular the crossbow people tend to have very high dexterity. And then there's Beep, who uses sabers Wing Wang, who uses sabers. I'm just wondering if there's a way we can expedite this somewhat by letting them train with either sabers or maybe even crossbows. And then another thing that I wanted to see was martial arts. Interesting. Okay, so we can train it by fighting unarmed, of course, or fighting encumbered for strength, which we have good strength. What I didn't realize is with martial arts, you get a bonus when fighting opponents stronger than you, and a penalty when fighting opponents weaker than you. That's kind of new. I just wonder if these are a couple of stats that we should raise before we do our next big town attack. And maybe we'll find ourselves, like, especially if we end up getting thrown in prison and stuff, maybe we'll find ourselves on better footing. Hey, Willow, welcome in. Good to see you. So that said, let's, we have the production here to satisfy some of this curiosity. Wonder what the lightest weapon is that we have. Okay, so the guardless katana weighs 1 kilogram. As does the wakizashi. What are we looking at for the desert saber? That's 8 kilograms, okay. His short cleavers are 19. Naginata's pretty light, too. That's a polearm. I'm kind of curious if we have Breck to just make a bunch of guardless katanas and send our people out to train with those. I wonder what kind of gains we can expect dexterity-wise. I also want to check in, by the way, and see what Zim is doing. Okay, it looks like we have finally run out of motors. So let's get some of those queued up. Sheena's full. Okay, so empty it. Oh, I see the problem. Nope, wait, there we go. And Zim with a robotics of 83 should be getting up there to making some pretty good limbs, which is what we want. How long do these katanas take to make? Why is Breck's not doing the thing?
Hello, Gordon.
Hello, Roger. Good to see you. Challenger of the undefeated moving toward my outpost. That's just what we needed when we are trying to get everything back in order. I wonder if we can move our combat squad home in time to deal with that. All right, now how do I want to get home? Maybe Beak things will get him. Happy to be here. It's been a couple weeks. Any major updates? We are in the thick of battle against the Holy Nation, and we've taken over some of their territories. And what we're doing right now is basically training to try to overthrow them completely. Death to the opposition, indeed. Oh, Ezra, hello. I missed your comment, but good to see you. Good evening to you as well. We're back. We're back at it, and we continue our training arc today. Oh, I never did figure out why Brecht wasn't doing the thing. Oh, is he trying to put his own weapon away? I know he'll do that sometimes before he'll go to work. Yeah. We probably don't have the most appropriate armor for dexterity weapons, but that's okay. See if we can head this way. This is a nice way to ease back into it and get used to the game again. What we might do is strip everybody of all weapons and have them go fight hand-to-hand for a while. That should give Brecht time to pump out some more weapons. We might need more storage spaces. I don't know that I've ever seen them split up so much. I wonder also if this type of training might influence stats in a less visible way. Like, for instance, I don't know how raising hand to hand or martial arts might influence attack or defense. But, you know, this is why we experiment to find out. Once again, I'm wishing that this game had a skill log where you could see when individuals level up, because for this many people, it's a lot to keep track of. I am a scientist, a video game scientist. Y'all ever wonder what you would do without the internet and video games and all of that? Like, where all of that brain power would go if it weren't dedicated to learning thousands of little numbers in a video game? I think about that sometimes. Like, if all of this didn't exist and I lived 500 years ago, would I be like a guy who cataloged like 150 kinds of pea flour? Or, you know, held some type of historic tradition, or, you know, maybe made some metallurgy advances or something like that? Because today my brain power goes to this. Some deep thoughts. Mendev could have been an awesome streamer. All right, everybody, right now, pick your favorite scientific contributor that you would have liked to see stream. And what video game do you think they would play? Or maybe they don't play a video game. Maybe they do something else. Challenger of the Undefeated has arrived at my outpost. So we're in for some good things. I like how they came to challenge me, and then they get upset when we open fire on them. Oh, now they're doing the thing where they're going to try to break the wall. The pathing and everything is definitely messed up. I have to say that was a pretty successful salvo on the part of our turrets, though. We definitely worked a lot of them down. Challenger of the Undefeated against your outpost has been defeated. Well, tell them that, because they're still out here wreaking havoc. Honestly, it's good training for them to come through every once in a while like this. swear that Auron was part of our adventuring party. Where did the blood spider come from? It had to have spawned inside the base. It came from running from a direction where it had no reason to be. That was a way bigger threat than the Berserkers. Huh, they chose an interesting path to get there. And we have a broken skeleton as well. Didn't know they were going to run through the acid. Hey, cemetery chick, welcome in. Plenty of food, too, still. They're locked on to somebody. So mostly the things that we're going to be able to fight out here to train are going to be like dust bandits, hungry bandits, and beak things. This might be good groups to train like the martial arts and such. Be a nice quality of life thing if there was a button over here on the side where you could tell them to use martial arts. What's the goal today? We don't have a fixed goal today, but I want to experiment with some training methods. I want to raise their dexterity and their martial arts skill and see how that affects other stats. Because I feel like with us carrying as high strength as we have, if we can raise the dexterity level, we'll probably be more efficient overall. Training montage, exactly. So let's see what it looks like for us to go unarmed and fight some bandits or something. How well we could train up. We can hold on to this because we don't have the bolts for it. All right. Everybody is unarmed. We have some pretty significant stat debuffs. So, you know, we'll see how this goes. Just try to experiment and learn the game a little bit. Photo, you get out here with everybody else. All right, so what we'll be looking for is like a bandit group, maybe. Be real handy-dandy to test it on some hungry bandits first. Who are you? Dust bandits. They're pretty low level. Let's see what happens. Ooh, look at that dodge. Okay, so apparently in hand-to-hand, they learned to dodge. I like how you can hear the sound of the skeleton limbs kicking in. Okay, so the other thing I'm noticing is that martial arts seems to be a separate skill from attack. They don't gain attack power from training their martial arts, it seems. Wait, where did... Gecko's got a weapon. Okay, Gecko didn't get the memo. Okay, so let's take a look at this. The ability to evade attacks without blocking, you need to stay light and fast. If you are encumbered with heavy equipment, you won't be able to dodge or learn anything. So let's just make sure that their encumbrance rate... Yeah, so they're all at a point... They're not very encumbered. Most of our encumbrances are weapons anyways. This is what we have Frankie for. Yes, but I am discovering on my own for now. So, in a way, I guess we're redoing some of the work that Frankie and others have done. But, I mean, this is how you learn the game for yourself. So what's interesting is with dodge, you have a chance of evading attacks while stumbling. So the evading attacks while unarmed, that's not super interesting or important for us. But to dodge while stumbling, that could be very useful. Also, of course, we're not doing a ton of, like, bonus limb damage or anything like that. Oh, here we go. A whole group of hungry bandits. Now, that's what I want to see. That's good training for us. Ooh, somebody actually got knocked out. I didn't expect that. Beanhop, with all of your toughness, you got knocked out at -3 chest. That's surprising. I wonder if it would have made sense to change equipment to get martial arts bonuses. Did we just kick somebody's leg off? Or was that Gecko with the sword? Is this appreciably gaining us anything, I wonder? Martial arts is probably the kind of thing that you train up over a long career of being, like, imprisoned and having your belongings taken from you. Who's that? More hungry bandits. Okay, there we go. Where are they going? You didn't want the heat? They're doing their level best to run away from us. Beanhop is down for the count again. I think we're gaining some martial arts skills. I think Photo has gained a lot. Probably because Photo had some to work with from the beginning. A lot of dodging, too. Look at the fancy footwork. Yeah, I wonder if the dodge training might actually be the best thing about this. They are not letting that one go. Okay, now the only thing... Watch out for beak things. So that leaves a whole lot of hungry bandits just crawling around on the ground. All right, who's walking slowly? We. Oh, we already had that leg splinted. I wonder if this is doing much for our toughness. Kind of seems a little bit maybe, but I don't recall exact numbers. Dodge is certainly going up. Which, you know, makes me think that there is something to lighter armor. I'm gonna head back towards base and see if we pick up any fights on the way. Get them all rested up. Maybe we'll grab the katanas. And we'll see if we can do some dexterity training. I guess the thing to do would be to track who has the lowest natural dexterity. So like Beanhop has 37. And see how quickly Beanhop increases. Oh, look. Okay, these are dust bandits, I think. So this is going to be fun. We're probably going to get a few incapacitated. Yep, Wee is down. Honestly, Gecko should be taking part in the training, but I don't hate one person having a sword as a safety. Got a small group of dust bandits at the gates. funny how some of them have, like, really quick healing factors. So they're regaining their health almost as quickly as they're losing it. I'm gonna be honest, that's quite the slow process for a group this big. But I bet if you sent one person into a group, especially with the right equipment, I bet they would gain dodge skill and such pretty quickly. Maybe we try that. Oh, ice is crawling. Beep, you pick up ice. There we go. Maybe we try using Beep as an example. We equip Beep with, like, high dexterity gear and send him into battle with the group and see if it just really raises his dodge and martial arts skill. And then maybe we do the same thing with the katana and use Beep as a test bed. It might be more efficient to do this one character at a time, which, to be honest, might be the more boring thing for stream. But, you know, we just, it's about learning right now. We really should make it a protocol to have one bed for each member of the squad. All right, we'll get Beep all rested up. Let's see what we got up here for... Yeah, like these dust coats. That could be something to check out. I don't know what we do about head covering for lighter armor. I guess it's armored hoods. Oh, so I thought these beds healed other limbs more quickly too, but it looks like they don't. I think what we'll do is we'll get Beep to grab a katana on the way out so he has a weapon in case he gets in a bad spot, but we'll see what happens with just hand-to-hand. We've got a lot of pretty good guardless katanas here. Be a real pain remembering what everybody is equipped with, but that's okay. Okay, Bark is eating again, it seems, so that's good. And Double seems well fed. Yeah, Bark is going to get more food. How's Zim doing? Why are we queuing robotics components? I thought we were queuing motors. Okay, Beep's just about fixed up. Let's go get Beep some new gear. So we're now looking at a dexterity of 70. Dodge of 20 and martial arts of 10. So Beep, go ahead and grab one of these katanas just to keep it in your inventory. Beep's looking pretty cool, by the way. And we'll send Beep out and we'll see what kind of training we can get from this. Ideally, we're looking for a crowd of hungry bandits. Where are you? Okay, these are dust bandits. Now, one thing I wonder... I wonder about using the block skill and using martial arts that way and focusing on, like, dodging. All right. We're going to observe how Beep does. Observe the Beep. Okay, dodge has already gone up by 1. Now, that could be lucky. It could be that the dodge skill was close as it is. What have we learned so far? I don't know. We're still kind of experimenting. We've got Beep out here by himself in gear that's heavily conducive to the type of style we're trying to train. I'm curious. If we give Beep his katana, does this fight turn around? No. I mean, it might have been the crossbows. And Beep lost his lunch. But we did see a notable effect in dodge skill increase. So when Beep gets back up, we're going to have him come back to base and rest up again. And we're going to see what else we discover. All right, we have some ads over on Twitch. We're going to roll through these. I'm just going to be experimenting a little bit. Probably nothing crazy going on here. So I see with the attack and defense and martial arts, you gain an XP penalty when fighting opponents weaker than you. I don't know how I'm just putting 2 and 2 together. Dodge, on the other hand, you can... It doesn't have any penalty to that, so you can raise dodge independently, I think. Let's get Beep raised back up, and then I'll send him back into a crowd. This time I'm going to try with block on, and what we're looking at is to see if the dodge stat increases. Oh, take off the katana. Back from dinner, you are full of potato. That's a good way to be. We're still just experimenting. We're trying to learn, strategies for effective training and such. So these are more dust bandits. Could be the same, I'm not sure. But we're going to send Beep over here on the block skill and see what happens. So Beep should not attack. Beep should just be dodging and dodging. Dance, Beep, dance! So I'm not seeing a dodge skill increase that's very significant here. I wonder if it's by nature of being on the block. It is going up. Okay, so it just increased one. I mean, if I were going to raise a couple of characters this way, it would definitely have an effect. But with like 15 characters, I feel like we'd be here for days trying to affect anything with this. Oh, we didn't even need to send Beep out. Could make a pretty good clickbait thumbnail with this. Okay, now that's what I was afraid of, was beak things wandering by while we do this. Poor Beep. Now, Beep is very fast like this. Beep is like 41 miles an hour. Now, it looks like attack gains a debuff with enemies weaker than you, but it doesn't look like dexterity does. So that's going to be the next thing we test, is Beep, you get your rest again. And we'll send Beep out with a katana. See what kind of dexterity gain we get from single combat with a fast weapon. I don't remember all of the stats having this level of breakdown before. Okay, this amount of damage it takes to stagger you is really good. Really good to know. All right, let's get Beep back out there, this time with the katana. Oh, he's still on block. Well, that was a flawless fight. Good job, Beep. Let's try to find another, and we'll see what it does for the defense stat. Feels kind of fitting that we're using Beep for this. I feel like this is part of Beep's progression to the greatest swordsman. Let's also see, is Brecht still working? How many do we have? Oh yeah, we've got a lot more to make. Okay. Beep's being attacked by whom? Beak things. Okay. I'm curious if I put Beep on block. And we'll look at this melee defense. It seems to be going up none at all. Have I seen Beep high on power? I've definitely seen him do the whole, like, laughing thing when he wins. Okay, so fighting the beak things raised our defense more than our attack, but I think the beak things are still too low below our level to be adding anything significant. Another thing I want to try. Is it a blind playthrough if the monitor is turned on? Because many of us, though we think we see, remain